What's up, everyone? Welcome to the My Thoughts series. Today we'll be looking at Dark Souls. Now, this is the first Soulsborne game I have ever played. I completed other Souls-like, such as Hollow Knight and Tunic, but this is my first dive into the From Software rabbit hole. I just defeated Gwyn, and now that I have my thoughts together, I want to say that I don't want to leave the rabbit hole. Dark Souls has to be one of the most fun games I have played this year, and I'm so disappointed to have missed out on all the hype that surrounds this series. I want to start this off properly with a subject that we can all get behind: the bosses. These fuckers are going to be so tough and they'll whoop your ass, is what everyone told me going into the game. But I don't want to sound pretentious, but I did not have the same experience of massive death tolls that others had when first playing the game. Most of the bosses I beat only took a few tries, if not the first. I mean, to be fair, like Ornstein and Smo, they were fucking my butthole, right? And Artorias, he gave me a bit of a run for my money, but overall, most of the others I thought were pretty easy in comparison to what my friends had told me. Now, that doesn't mean they aren't fun, though. A lot of these fights were really entertaining, and I would happily replay them again. You know, Sif, Artorias, Graveler, Nito, just to name a few. What also complements the bosses are the soundtracks. Man, they're so good. This game's soundtrack is phenomenal. I mean, Dark Souls just has amazing music, and when you're walking through certain areas, it elevates the experience to a whole new level. You know, Firelink Shrine and Anderlondo, the music in those areas is so fucking good. I like the acapella in the credits, right? That sounds amazing. Sounds very angelic, and then once you reach when you fight Seath, there is an acapella in that, and that one is very intimidating, very menacing, right? So the tone of the music shifts between which area you're in, which is normal for a video game. Now I want to move on to criticisms I have of this game, and I'm sure most people are on the same page with me when I say that the second half of the game is not nearly as good as the first. In the first half, you have objectives such as ringing the two bells and the well-designed areas that complement the quest you need to go on to ring those two bells. Whereas in the second half, you have to defeat the 4 Soul Lords, right? Which is fine if it wouldn't be for the terrible areas that you have to run through. Like, and what really sucks is that most of the bosses, pretty much every one of the 4 lords is fun, besides the Bed of Chaos, because he's just a cunt. Like the Tomb of the Giants, for example. Let's take the Tomb of the Giants. That is not fun. There's nothing fun about the Tomb of the Giants. It could have been completely removed. That and the Lost Izalith are two of some of the worst areas in the game. But I think, in my opinion, the worst area in the game is Sen's Fortress, which could have been gone. Should have never been on the drawing board. One minor criticism I see people talk about is your sword hitting the wall when you swing it. Didn't really bother me much in most areas. I can understand it when you're in a cramped area, like Anor Londo or the Catacombs. Like in those areas, I was kind of getting blasted with that mechanic. But most of the time, I really didn't have to deal with it. Now, I want to go back to a topic that I really enjoy, which is the items and the classes and the builds. There is so much variation with how you play the game, and it all starts with what class you pick. I ran with the warrior build. My older brother, he did the pyromancer, and my younger brother did the knight. But if you want to run with a sorcerer and have spell casting, a thief and use a dagger for attacks, or just be deprived and run around with no armor and a giant club, you can do that. It's completely up to you. And then once you pick your class, your build is completely up to you. You have the freedom to choose what build you want. You know, PvP, PvE. I did PvE because I don't like PvP, and most of the time I was getting butt blasted by people when I reversed my hollowing. But if you want to be PvP, that's completely fine, right? I can understand why people would like that. Just for me, in my opinion, it's not for me. My build was a warrior, of course, and I used the Gravelord sword, which is really OP, and the Silver Knight armor and the gold hemmed black set. So I basically ran with magic defense and then normal defense. You have the freedom to decide what you want to use to fight the big tough bosses, or just be adventurous and collect items. I did both, as anyone should. Now I think I'm done talking and gushing about how much I absolutely adored and loved the experience that I had with Dark Souls. I'm going to give the game 10 stars, 10 out of 10, right? I think it absolutely deserves a 10 out of 10. And I also think I'm going to give it the esteemed masterpiece title, which is rare, very rare that I do that. But I think that for this case, for what this game spawned, and how when everyone thinks of From Software, they think of Dark Souls, and they think of difficulty with Dark Souls, and how that affected the whole gaming landscape within the latter of years. I think that it's just very important that I give the game a masterpiece title and 10 out of 10 because it is so fun. I absolutely loved it. And I would 100% recommend anyone play the game if they like a good challenge, if they like a good challenge or just a good game. I mean, I can understand you have no taste and you don't like good games, but that's completely okay. I'm just saying, I recommend the game. But that'll be all, everyone. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.